welcome to Every Day is Funny, the meditative morning show about newspaper comics. I wanted to start off today with a little idea I was developing. I think it's a movie idea, but I'm open to suggestions. I'm also open to feedback. Feel free to tell me if it blows chunks. But what about this? There's a group of ghosts that are haunting a community center. And maybe they're haunting it, maybe there was an explosion on the site of the community center, and so all the ghosts have to haunt that specific building. There was an explosion and they died there. Not just there was an explosion. They were there when it happened. It's a shame. But so now they have to haunt this community center. And they're all grumpy because they're dead. Because they got exploded. And so they haunt a lot. And there's a lot of different people coming into the community center. And they're haunting them all. And they hate life. They hate the afterlife. But one young whippersnapper wants to get his community, because it's like a little plan, like a community center. Well, this is a community of ghosts. And so one young guy wants to get them to switch from haunting to something more positive. And so one of the nights at the community center is a stand-up comedy night. So it gives the young ghost an idea. Let's get this group doing ghost stand-up. And then it'll turn the tide. We'll stop haunting people. We'll all be a little happier. Maybe we'll escape and we won't have to haunt anymore. Maybe we'll ascend. And so they do this stand-up ghost evening and it goes really well. And they're all like, whoa, this is great. And somehow one of the real-life comedians can hear the ghosts and he steals their material. And they find out about this the next time they host the community center stand-up, and they haunt the bejesus out of them. They're pissed. But then the young guy realizes that if they help each other out with material, they'll be way more original. So like the young guy can get jokes from the living man about, what the world's like outside of the community center. And the comic can get jokes from a ghost. He can basically incorporate a seance into his act and channel the afterlife and make that stand-up. So then there's this, that's going well, they're getting along, but then something happens. Like a developer comes into town and threatens to shut the club down. And two realms have to come together to save it. And I thought about this because all this is just leading up to a joke at the end of the trailer where the ghost is doing a set and it's not going well. And he says, wow, this crowd is dead. That's pretty good. Even all the lead up was worth it just for that. I don't know, I think that could be good. That could be like a kid's movie. That could be animated. It could be live action. Because at its heart, it's a story about, positivity in the face of adversity. And it's a story about a community coming together. So I think those are like beautiful messages, especially for this morning show. That's the kind of stuff, that's the kind of content I want to see out there. I think, I did recently just join A Million Moms. I do think there's too much violence, cursing, drugs, and nudity out there in the world. And I think we got to change our content to reflect the world we want to see, Yeah, I've changed a little bit. Anyway, let's get to the comics. Let's check out Ziggy, another classic that I don't believe we've tackled once yet. Let's check it out. All right, Ziggy is reading Wherefore Art Thou Hiding, Waldo? A fun little twist on Where's Waldo? He says, wow, this Shakespeare guy was way ahead of his time. I like that. That's a great joke. Or art thou hiding, Waldo? Wow. Yeah, like, what a fun... That's what comics are about. Pretending Shakespeare came up with Where's Waldo is great. No notes. I don't even have much to say. That's just a great bit. How has there not been a Where's Waldo movie yet? Live action or animated? Like, you could basically just set up some big story points. Waldo is going out, like, say he goes out in the beginning into a big market square. And you do, like, normal movie stuff, dialogue, whatever, development. But then you just kind of get to that point, market square, and then you just leave that screen, like the book pages. You just leave that screen on the movie screen. And the whole audience just kind of like works on it together. And then the movie kind of continues, scenes develop, yeah, he gets into another situation. Now he's at the mall. And then you do it again. I like the idea of movies where the audience works together like that. It would just suck if somebody found him immediately. Somebody was like really good at it. And then the whole screening, it's just that. And then he finds him in the first 5 seconds, and then the screen stays up for like 3 more minutes. There's flaws to the idea, but I think there is potential there. Alright, Mary Worth time. I gotta check out how Mary's dealing with Wilbur and Stellan, and if Wilbur has finally fully faced facts that his relationship is over and he's just gotta move on and stay positive. But I have a feeling that's not how he's gonna be acting. Okay. They're still talking on the couch, Mary and Wilbur. Headline: When Mary tries to lift the mood in the Weston apartment, Wilbur says, "I'm a loser, Mary." Mary says, "You're a winner in my book, Wilbur." Wilbur says, "Nobody else seems to be buying that book." Mary says, "That's not true." When's the last time you heard a man well over 40 years old screaming, "I'm a loser, Mary"? It's so bizarre. He is kind of a loser. This guy is like the adult equivalent of Parker from Rex Morgan MD, if you know what I'm talking about. Just self-deprecating, hating himself. How long was this relationship he was in? How long did it even go on for? Years or just like a couple of months? Like, it's evident why she left him. I want to start guessing what tomorrow's lines will be, because both in this and Rex Morgan, we see variations on the same thing every day. And I should take a guess and see how much I am understanding how these comics work. So he says, "I'm a loser." She says, "You're a winner in my book. Nobody else seems to be buying that book." That's not true. Will they keep talking about this metaphorical book and riff off that? I don't think so. I think he's just gonna say, "I'll never find another girl like her again." Mary says, "That's not true," again. And then he says, "My best years are behind me." This isn't a funny bit that I'm doing. I'm not guessing funny lines, but I think that's what he's gonna say. All right, Rex Morgan time. Okay, we're still in the school cafeteria with the bully. Corey and Parker dealing with this bully. The bully says, "You guys are lucky I gotta go eat lunch, or you'd be in for it." Corey says, "Okay, the fish sticks are extra fishy today. Enjoy." The bully walks away and says, "Nerds." And then one of Corey's friends says, "What's that guy's problem anyhow?" I do feel like Corey and Parker's friends could be speaking up a bit more. They're only talking when the bully's already departed. But this is like a numbers game. Corey has like 5 friends sitting at this table. They could easily go against this one kid who we found out is a new kid, and yet they're not speaking up. Like, why don't you have a sense of community? Band together, go against the bully. Like, even Parker was silent today. He had no self-deprecating quips. He was too nervous. It's really affecting him. So how about all your friends jump in and do their part? Just an idea. I do hope we find like a demented backstory for this bully. You know, the friend says, "What's that guy's problem anyhow? I hope tomorrow." I just said I should guess what happens tomorrow. I think we're gonna get a deep dive into this bully's home life, and it's not gonna be pretty. I think things are gonna get real grim. No, in actuality, I think we're still gonna be in the cafeteria tomorrow. Corey's gonna say, "Wow, that bully was annoying." Parker says, "Almost as annoying as me." And then they eat fish sticks in the second panel. That's likely what's gonna happen. Let's check the comments. Jaws says, "This bully was a total doofus, and yet Corey's spineless friends still couldn't stand up for them then and there." That's what I'm saying. Everyone's just sitting down at the table as if they have no power in this school. Even just by the amount of time you've been there, you could defeat this guy and have everyone on your side. All right, let me think of what to say. Okay, I'm gonna say, after the bully says nerds, we pan down to see that he stepped on some Wonka nerds with his bare feet. He was in fact never calling Corey and Parker nerds, and there was a miscommunication. Okay. That'd be funny. It won't happen. Send. All right. Time to wind down for this Monday morning. Hope you have a great start to your week. And remember, every day is funny.